It's your boy Bleeve. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a great morning. My name is Bleeves. This is Breakfast with Bleeves, where we're going to talk about a lot going on in the cryptocurrency market. But really, the most important thing right now is we are in massive danger with cryptocurrency. And the reason for that, and it's not a long-term danger for anybody who's wondering, but we're in a very short-term sort of squeeze opportunity that I'm going to get into in just a few minutes here. But first, let's say good morning to everybody. Good morning, Richard Nelson. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. James Minton's in the house. Good morning. Jay Manuel, good morning. Jeffrey T is in the house. Good morning. True is in the house. Good morning. Poe is here. Steve Blaylock is in the house. Saza's in. Grant Vorshik is here. Hunter's in the house. Daniel Volt is in here, volting it up. Guys, I appreciate each and every one of you for coming in. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. And let's get started. There's a whole bunch of different things that have happened. And I'm going to get through this as quickly as possible because there's a whole bunch of other stuff going along. Thank you, Tom, for sharing. RW7610 is in the house. Good morning. Marcelo Juarez, good morning. Lunk 2010, good morning. Let's look at, first of all, we're going to check this out. The overall market, the broader context of the market is one of, it's up 33%, but look at this. There's only 25 billion in market right now. That's not a lot of volume, and that is the potential. Again, this is why I'm saying this. This is the potential right now for a disaster, a very short disaster. I'm starting to get this sense that there's going to be a real squeeze coming very, very soon from the bears, and I do think that we're going to see just a ridiculous dunk on price action, and then it's going to come rapid. And we're not going to be ready for it when it does happen. So, and I think it's going to be one of those exasperating sort of feelings that you only get when you see something like that happen. And that might be that final shakeout. That might be, what's going on. But I mean, we're going to see, right? We're certainly going to see. Tether's still at 83 billion. So, we're just kind of sitting idly waiting to see what happens here, right? Going down the list, everybody's a little bit red in the overnight. Nothing really to write home about. 24-hour compound Kava BNB. BNB finally turning around just a little bit. We're at least something. At least something's positive. All of the FUD is starting to die down on BNB just a little bit. If you remember, either Saturday or Friday, I told you guys I got a feeling about BNB. What I think I want to do is what I was hoping would happen is over here on the chart for Bitcoin. What I was hoping to see happen, I set my take profit at 31,500. I was hoping that overnight it would just bang off of 31.5. I'd be able to take profit. Then I would be able to flip that over and go into a long on BNB. But it wasn't to be. I'm still sitting here ranging around this level. Now, the problem with this, right? The problem with this is once you've done this a few times, you can make an argument here that 31.4 has been the level here where my mouse is. And if that's the case, then we've already hit it 3 or 4 times. Are we even going to get another push to try to do it? Because what's ended up happening is, as you can see from all of this movement, we were above the 200 SMA. We maintained it for a while, and then we bounced up. We went below it, and then bounced up over it, but didn't maintain. And now here we are trending right under it, which brought the 50 underneath, which is now a bearish indicator. And here we sit on a bearish indicator, waiting for some kind of positive movement, something good happening. And I get the sense here that with the CPI data, which, by the way, there are predictions that CPI data is going to be insanely good, and that might change the dynamic of a lot of this stuff, and it might affect it dramatically. So we'll see what happens here, but I'm getting this sense right now. And by the way, I looked up predictions, and when it comes to predictions, one of the predictions that I saw was a 2.7, which is crazy considering the amount that we were looking at. But here's the events for the week on July 13. That's when we get all of the information, all of the data. Then on Friday, we're gonna get the consumer sentiment, et cetera, et cetera. It says right here, my way early prediction, this is on July 4th, was 2.8. Realistically, 2.7, 2.9 seems highly likely to me, but will change as it gets more data. Now, and I'm not holding to that, by the way, but we did see somebody out here who just popped out of nowhere who said CPI will be below 2% by July is my best guess. And again, there's a lot of people that are doing this. And then Jason Furman, 145,000 followers, a professor of practice at Harvard, says inflation forecasting is hard, but I feel confident in these two predictions. On July 12th, BLS will announce that the 12-month CPI went down. On August 10, they will announce that it went up. That's not a look. That's not a real prediction, but that is some of his ideas here. Now, CPI here, these guys everybody's just kind of giving their guesses about what's going on. So we don't really have a whole lot. Should be tomorrow, the day before, we'll start to get predictions from all of the big ones. So we'll get a Morgan Stanley prediction. We'll look at those. So that's what's coming. So in the news, Standard Chartered pushes Bitcoin prediction up to 120,000. The firm has revived its outlook once again, projecting that Bitcoin will also hit. Remember, this is what we're doing right here. Okay, they predicted $100,000 Bitcoin at the end of 2024. Now they're raising that to 120, and they're now upping their projection for the end of this year to 50,000 for 2023. The number of new Bitcoin addresses is trending back up. There's all kinds of data that's giving them this idea that Bitcoin is ready for another big move. So hopefully we're going to see that. So this also says that there's probably going to be an effect here. TED Talks Macro says the US CPI for June is due on Wednesday this week. Headline is expected to fall to 3.2 year over year, which would make for the lowest print since March of 2021. So the core CPI is expected to tick lower to 5.1, the lowest level since November of 2021. So all of the numbers are starting to get into a much better read. And if that happens, then awesome. Finally, we're starting to see some of the breakdown here that we've been waiting for. And that, of course, is going to be good for everything. Bitcoin hovers at 30,000. Investors anticipate release of U.S. inflation data. So we're seeing, all over the place. We've got all kinds of different data. Everybody's waiting right now on the data. And that's why I say this. I say that we are in danger of a real rip to the downside. I don't know that it can go down to 28,000, but if you remember here the other day, we had this nice little rip down to 29.7, just kind of out of nowhere. And then, not that long ago, we were all the way down here at 25,000. So there is some danger to what's going on right now. We're going to have to just kind of see how this whole thing plays out. We're looking at the daily charts, and we're looking at one-day candles, then we're, really liking what we see, right? But we are in money flows going to the out. MACD is underneath. We do have a crossover from the RSI and the trend line back into bearish mode. So, a lot of these indicators that would tell you that we're about to go down are really telling you that we're about to have this push down. Also, and it does happen here every once in a while. You see it and we get this downward move, and then all of a sudden it just kind of rips. So you're looking at one of those situations where it could also just start to rip. So this is going to be a nervous sort of week. It's going to be a nervous sort of week. So if you're going long on Bitcoin, I'm thinking about going ahead and taking profit at this point. and just kind of cashing it out right now and waiting, because I just get this feeling that we're about to see a dramatic dump coming very, very soon, and I'd rather not get liquidated. So I'm going to wait and see how it plays out over the course of at least the next little while before we see it. So, once I get a clearer indication, look, if I see this money flow start to go green all of a sudden, or if I start to see it just flip red like crazy fast, and then I'm just going to emergency liquidate and just, I'm in profit. It's not much, but I'm in profit. So, I want to stay in profit. So we'll see what happens. But Bitcoin steady above as China factory deflation suggests the end of global tightening cycle is near. China is exploiting deflation across the Western world. Ultimately, this will be good for risk assets as it relates to the end of the global interest rates increase cycle, one observer said. Now, China's PPI, a measure of factory gate prices, fell 5.4% year on year in June, the ninth consecutive monthly decline and the steepest drop in 7 years. So we're starting to see numbers that correspond to, and by the way, hit the like button on your way in. We only have about 30 something likes here. We got 60 something people watching. It's likely to head to lower export prices and deflationary pressures in the global economy. China's the largest partner in the world's prominent economies. Deflation, a sustained decline in the general price level, occurs when the deflation rate is negative. So really, we've got this moment in time where what's going on in China might just start affecting everybody across the board. And look, here's the thing. When it comes to crypto, we still haven't seen the big move yet, right? We've seen a nice run off of Bitcoin. We've seen it come up into levels that, a lot of people were hoping were not going to happen for this year. But here we are, right? And it's going to continue. We're going to end up we're going to have more coming, right? There's going to be more big moves, but we're getting a little bit nervous. We're waiting to see what happens. We're looking for that, massive sort of whatever could be coming. So, we'll just patiently kind of sit here idle and wait to see exactly what happens. I am seeing some movement out of Ben all of a sudden, out of nowhere. So I'm not sure what's going on there. 1 hour chart is showing a big green candle. I don't know what this is all about, but in the last hour, this thing's flipped green. So there's a big green candle for Ben for some reason. So I'm not sure if there was an announcement made or, there's a 14 ETH buy is what there is. So somebody just got in for a big amount. That's just going to lead to a sell-off, by the way. There's no reason. You might follow the money, but smart people, they follow the money. Dum-dums, they sell when they see that come in. So, I don't think that we're going to see too much because there's a lot of dum-dums still left. Robert F. Kennedy's Bitcoin holdings sparks conflict of interest debate. Now, here's the thing. This is just crazy shit that you get. And this is what's wrong with everything. When I talk about this stuff, you got to understand that you are being manipulated. You've got to understand that you're being manipulated by the media, right? So Robert F. Kennedy holds about $250,000 worth of Bitcoin, right? June 3rd, really, his family had invested between $100,000 and $250,000 in Bitcoin, holding about close to $250,000. So he owns, somewhere near 10 Bitcoin, right? And then who says that, oh no, this might be a problem? Well, none other than Virginia Cantor. And who is Virginia Cantor? She's one of those left-wing crazy broads who was appointed by President Clinton, who's one of those people that that's one of your leftist sort of taking care of the banks. The most important thing is to make sure that the monetary system for the United States is all good, baby doll. She's a shill for banks. And what is she doing? Shilling for banks. So it's almost like clockwork, guys. At this point, you can absolutely 100% without question. You will know 100% if it's coming from a Democrat at this point, that it's for the purpose of banks. And remember, all of the banks are not yet in on the Bitcoin game. They're not out here doing this. So here we are. And by the way, Jay Clayton has nothing nice to say about cryptocurrency. He's the former head of the SEC. Just, another one of those shills. And look, I say this as if they're shills for the banks, and some of them are not shills for the banks, right? Some of them are not really in that context. What they are is they believe in the American system, and they believe that the American system works better than any other system. So it's not necessarily that they're corrupted by the banks. Well, it is, but they don't see it that way. They see it as it's the safest system. It's the best one to use. That's why the regulations are there. That's why they're in place. And it's to make it safer, in their opinion, for all of you and for all of us. So some of them are genuine in their concern, but it's also because they're being manipulated and lied to by everybody else. When you get Liz Warren came out. Liz Warren came out a couple months ago, and she said, "How Kimosabi, me no like cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency represent attack on American money. Smoke 'em peace pipe. We no likey. It attack money. Use money for druggy. The biggest currency right now that funds drug running is the U.S. dollar. But what we didn't see Liz Warren come out. I wish I had feathers to put in my hat. Me no like a U.S. dollar. U.S. dollar represent nookie no bad for U.S. economy. So she doesn't say any of that kind of shit. But that is the biggest threat, the U.S. dollar, not cryptocurrency. So, again, it's not about what it's an actual threat. It's about what they can track and about protecting the banks. Are you mocking Montana? No. So anyway, Virginia Cantor, that's who she is. Just a corporate shill. And then Bank of America finally says that Ripple is making waves in cross-border payments with blockchain. Now, good news coming out on the XRP front, in that people are now looking at it for as a payment solution overseas. People are starting to see that, and then guess what that means? That means the price is suddenly it's found a bottom. It's rallying around. Now it's using this little green arrow, this area as support. If it continues to hold this line as support right now, then I would expect it would move up to 47. If it can bust through, let's get over the 200 SMA, and that's when you go back into price exploration, and you could expect maybe 48, 49 cents, maybe even up to 50, because there's underlying rumblings right now that soon, very, very soon, we're about to see some kind of giant liftoff for XRP, and that we're going to get some clarity on this final the blow off, whatever you want to call it, right? And looks like a little capital keeps coming into the market. Not a whole lot. Again, it's not going to be crazy. Anything that does happen is not going to be crazy. And here we go. Of course, you get 14 ETH. You get 27. You get somebody out here who says, you know what, I'm going to put $27,000 into this Ben token, and then these paper-handed little are going to try to keep the price down. I mean, so they're just not going to be there. They're not going to make it. And by the way, I would venture to say that either these are continuing to be ETHBEN people who got free tokens, or they just, you cannot have made money off of this, right? If you go down here, then as you can see right here, this is actually a bot going with, they're putting it in Pepe 2.0. You can't make this shit up, guys. You can't make this shit up. Yeah, that's happening right now. By the way, Pepe 2.0 still down over the 24 hours. Yeah, if you bought the dip, by the way, you might have a little opportunity on Pepe 2.0. Again, not going back up to 100 million, but it did bounce off of 84. So you're up about 10%, I want to say. So it is possible that you got yourself a nice little 25% lift, which is good if you did that. But of course, if you were down, 200% because you screwed up and you didn't listen to me the first time. By the way, this is not breaking out. You're going to see a whole bunch of people telling you, "Oh, it's breaking out! It's breaking out!" It's not breaking out. It's right here. It's doing what I keep telling you it's going to be doing. It's going to be down there at my line pretty soon. So yeah, but they're going to tell you, oh, the trends are moving to the uppers because it goes up this way and it goes up this way. They're going to keep doing that kind of shit until everybody's gone and they're talking to themselves, right? We see what this is. We know what this is. There is no use case. There is no function. And they're going to say the power of community. Well, it's 13,000 people here. Not a lot of people, right? And the whales continue to exit. And if there's 13,000 people and it has a $40 million market cap, only 1.6 million in liquidity right here. I mean, go down here and start finding comparable things with 13,000 holders. I mean, and don't believe me, right? By the way, but just go down and look. Ben Token has 28,000 holders and it has a market cap of 20 million. Now, let's go back here one more time. Let's look at Pepe. 13,000, half the holders, double the market cap. That's not normal. That means that there's big whales still in here waiting to dunk on this price. And I hope that you guys understand that. And I hope that you see that. And I hope that you don't get wrecked. But I've said my piece. I've said it all. I've let you guys know. I've given you the opportunity. I've told you what's up. And the rest, God damn it, it's going to be on you. Thank you for the $2 bomb. Scalping ETH from Pepe 2.0 for my XRP. Fill it up because I think XRP is going to have a nice little run. And look, when I say this kind of shit, by the way, I'm not saying that you can't make money on Pepe. What I'm saying is you're not going back to 100 million market cap. You're going down. What you should be doing is finding a little line here and saying, you know what, this actually looks like the trend line right here, and let it follow this trend line. Right now, there's another trend line down here, and you could say that maybe there might be one final breakout. There might be one final breakout, but you can find this right here. Now, this right here, I'd be shorting right now all the way down to about 7, right? Because that's a perk. Like go to MEXC and short this right now for about 7. And then at 7, long it all the way up to 88. You know what I mean? Like it's going to keep doing what it's doing right now. I mean, you can until it breaks out. And will it break out to the upside? Yes, but it's going to keep going. Remember how it happened on Pepe, by the way, because we did this on Pepe. For those of you that don't realize that I'm talking about the same goddamn thing over and over again, we did this shit on Pepe not that long ago. And right, guess what happened? Look at that long ass move, right? Long ass move. This is from this downward motion was from May 13 all the way to June 19. So that's a month of downward momentum before Pepe broke towards the upside. And it didn't even, and I kept telling you guys that if it didn't break sooner, then it can't go to 2000 again. The best it can do is 1600, which is why we have the lines, right? And then what did it do? It broke down below my lines and came back up, and now it's maxing out on the top. Now, you make an argument that Pepe is about to break out again, but what really looks like it's about to happen is we got a double top here, and this double top is right here, and it did not come back up. So the most likely scenario here is we're headed back down, and I don't know if we get into this trend line again for lower lows, but it does look like that's what's getting ready to happen on Pepe, by the way. So, but Pepe 2, now you're going to tell me that Pepe 2 got it right. They didn't get it right. It's like, God, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, guys, you can't make this shit up, right? You can't make this shit up. Don't fall for this. Like, don't fucking fall for this. Anyway, so let's get back over here. Let's talk. So Bitcoin right now probably going to idle. Might have an opportunity to break above some SMAs on the hourly if money starts coming in. If people start wilding out and coming up with this crazy idea that something big is about to happen, you might see it change. But here's what's going to matter. We go to the 15-minute and we look at the money flow, and the money flow just went negative, and it looks like it's reversing off of this bounce, right? So it looks like money flow might be coming back in, maybe. 30-minute money flow is still in the positive. 1 hour money flow just broke positive a few hours ago. 2 hour, it just broke positive. 4 hour, it is still positive. But here's where it starts to the daily. The daily has been green for a couple of days. Weekly is still green, right? Been green for a while, went red for just a short period of time. Now it's back to green. And then on the monthly here, the monthly for the first time in a long time has flipped green. So, really what we're looking at is 15, 30. None of these lower time frames really are going to be as consequential as what we're seeing happen right now. And if you just consider this was the bear market and this was the bull market, right? So we're obviously, this is the start of potentially the big stuff, right? So and we come down here and we look at our MACD. When we look at the MACD, then we can see all the way back here that we did have this moment right here where we got this move. This is in May of 2019. So May of 2019, we were right around here, and that goes from $5,000 Bitcoin to $13,000 Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes up 100% in this little short flip right here. Then, of course, we get COVID. This is the COVID times. These on the time of COVID. So we get COVID, and then now we're off to the races, right? And then that's when the bull market happens. So what we're in right now looks to be this right here, exacerbated a little bit because of the market conditions. And so we'll have a few months here where we might get a nice flip. And again, like I keep saying this, like we might get this massive little from this green spot right here. We go up to 60,000 or 50,000. Like that's some of the predictions, right? So, and by the way, the reason that you're getting that prediction of 50,000, if you look over here, is because you're looking at this candle top over here in August. So, it really kind of factors in these levels. I said 54 because I think the September wick is going to be the one. So we'll see what happens there. And $5 from Eddie. Mr. Bleeves, have you seen Advantis AI Outlook rug pull prediction? If yes, what's your opinion? So I do look at Advantis AI. As a matter of fact, if you I cleared my cache. Yeah, I've been using them for all of my like when I do token sniffer and stuff like that. I've been using them for the token sniffer. So as far as the scanner here, matter of fact, no, I haven't seen this one. But I will look at it today. Matter of fact, one of them reached out to me just recently. So I did say that I'll probably be checking it out. But I do also have a partnership with somebody who is actively doing the same thing. So I'll probably do a comparison to see how they measure up. Will be the most likely path right there, because I have another one that's doing some pretty good predictions right now for cryptos. So yeah, we might. I'll be checking them out. I will be checking it out pretty soon, and I did not know that was going on. All right, so well, let's get back to it. So right now, I think it's Bitcoin's market. So there's going to be things, like right here, you're having been, a little 5% bump. Will it sustain? Probably not. Pepe down 3% on the day. Had a nice little rally recovery, but it was coming down off of this. So will it rally and sustain? Probably not. Volt continues to down. Look, we're finding new lows, and I mean, I can't, Volt continues to unimpress is what's going on right now. Look, this is the bottom over here. It found a new bottom, and then it rallied pretty big. But when you start to take the context out of it, and you kind of zoom back out, it's not really rallying that big, right? So, I don't think people really give a shit about the game. Like I like the game. I think the game is a lot of fun, but it's not moving the needle and creating any FOMO for people right now. I think that's what matters for most people, right? You're not seeing that big thing going on. So, I don't know what Volt does next. I have no idea. Again, like, look, I sent out a proposal to Voltoshi, I want to say 3 weeks ago, and he hasn't even read my email or he hasn't even opened it up. So, if that should tell you, I'm sorry, I sent on June 28th. So I sent it 2 weeks ago. I sent him an offer, say, hey man, like I could do something with you guys. but he hasn't even opened it. So, I don't know what to tell you. If I'm not in the loop, I'm not in the loop, and I can't really tell you. All I can say is on the outside, none of this shit looks good. That's about the best I can do. And I don't know anything coming, so that's why I can't say anything. Ethereum having a nice little reversal and a rebound, but Ethereum is, again, on the 1 hour and the 2 hour. If you're under this 200 SMA, then you got a problem, right? You got to get back over it for day trading purposes. Now, I would expect if this is the case, and if some money and some capital starts to flow back in, then there is a rip that could happen here. It's going to take you up here of about 2%. So if you're doing like a 10x leverage or something like that, maybe you can make a quick 20% gain off of it or something like that. I don't know that we're at the bottom of not the overall bottom. I get the sense that maybe we're going to be coming back down under 1800, back down into the 17s pretty soon. Like I just get that sense that things are not as they seem. I feel like, here's what I feel like. I feel like in this market, we haven't seen that full on pressure from these big guys moving into the space, right? I feel like, and again, I don't have data that backs this up. I just get this sense like because everything that I look at makes me think that this market should be roaring, right? Everything that's coming out has been fairly positive for a period of time, but we've got sideways trading, and we get excited when we get to 31.5, and it's significant, by the way, that we do this, right? We get to 31 to this 31.5 thing. So like I have no idea, right? I do think that there's some downward pressure. I think 29.5 right here, if you look at that right there, that might be the low point. But what you would also do is, kind of come back here because this kind of matched up over here. So where is your pivot? And the pivot is most probably right here on this top, right? So 28.5 basically is where we could like flash down to in just a moment's notice. And I think there'd be a lot of buy pressure on it. I think there'd be a lot of buy pressure. But there are a lot of, we'll look at the liquidity map tomorrow or the day after or something like that and kind of get back into a little bit of that as we go. But, there's some opportunity here for some downward momentum, especially during this week, because Wednesday is when the meeting happens. So you can't say that there's going to be nothing happening for a few days. You know what I mean? And we're not going to get the announcement until like 1 o'clock, 1:30. PPI month over month. Projection is previous was down. This was going to be projecting to be up. CPI forecast over here. Forecast is 5. Previous was 5.3. Previous was 0.4, and they're projecting 0.3. Inflation year over year down to 3.1. But again, some people are saying like 2.7, 2.9, that it could look a whole lot better. By the way, gas prices in my area are way down. I did go to Louisville. Gas prices were under $3. So not in Louisville, but in the suburbs. So, there's some inflation is coming down. We're starting to see so the prices start to correct, but I'm in an area where they just gouge you and take advantage of you. I live right near a refinery, and for some reason, living near this refinery is a nightmare on gas prices. Part of the reason is because Illinois has these strict requirements for, they call it the summer blend, where during the summer you have to have like a lower something or other. So there's that kind of shit going on. But I digress. Anyway, so this is this is what I think is going on here. Now, for those of you that have been paying attention, I'm going to show you a couple things real quick. First and foremost of which is the part that concerns me. BitBoy reached out yesterday publicly in chat to just let people know, because I had a lot of people reaching out to me talking about Ben, saying, hey, why are you not making videos for Ben? Why are you not partnering with them? Why are you not like the news guy? Blah, 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 blah. Right. And they were doing it openly in chat. And like, I'm not going to discourage them. Shit. I appreciate the fact that people are supporting me. But BitBoy, and he, by the way, just so you guys do, he did reach out to me personally after this as well. We aren't adding YouTube partners yet, but when we do, you will certainly be at the top of the list. Appreciate your support. So just want you guys to know that he's listening to you. So thank you. I appreciate that. But also, this is your official announcement. We are doing a V2. So there is a V2 coming. Now, most people are not happy about that because they're like, yo, son, when a man do a V2, that just be a scam, dog. Or whatever dumb shit they say, right? But look, these are the same donkeys that are trading Bitcoin, which is a V2, that are trading Ethereum, which is a V2, that are trading Gala, which is a V2, that are trading XRP, which used to be called Ripple. Duh, yo, son, that ain't gonna be working no more because I'm doing that V2 shit. Come on, donkey. Stop going hee-haw, 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 right? Jesus fucking Christ. So anyway, they're going to be doing a V2. Why are they doing a V2? Well, because there's no flexibility on the V1 contract. It's a renounced contract. They don't have control over it. They can't figure out any way to do what they would like or need to do on the contract. What they want to do or what they feel like they need to do on the contract is create like a something that would stop MEV bots, and they have no ability to do that. So there was an investor, according to BitBoy, there were some investors that wanted to come in that were willing to put in like $1 million each. Not confirmed, but according to them, that were willing to put in like $1 million to invest in this thing long term to see it start to develop. Right now, $1 million into these pools. Right, $1 million into these pools. I'm gonna tell you what happens here. If you're on Ben right now, and somebody today put in two people put in $1 million, and it would drop a zero in a heartbeat. Okay, that's how it would happen. It would drop a zero because it would be added completely into liquidity, which of course would pump the total market cap to the fucking moon, right? And you would just see this massive run. And then of course everybody else along the way, you would have a whole bunch of people who are selling, but then of course there's also this thing going on with ETH. So there's plenty of different things that are causing people to be like, yeah, you know what, let me hold off on this. And then Mevbot comes in and uses like $40,000 on one of the buys, and that of course drives the price up, and they're like, what the fuck is this? And you just can't, you know what I'm saying? Like it gets crazy, right? So they're not really willing to do that under this contract because it's not working. So Ben has to do something different. So that leads us to this V2. Now the V2, I did talk to Ben. The liquidity on Ben doesn't unlock for another 90 days. It's going to be 3 months or so. Now, the question then becomes, what are you going to do for 3 months, right? Are you just going to sit here and wait while the price just goes down, 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 down? Because it's not going up for 3 months as people are, it'll go down for 2.5 months and then it'll go up for a month, right? Like it's crypto, right? It's crypto, bruh. So, I get the feeling that there's, they've got some stuff that they're going to have to work through, and they're doing it rapidly, by the way. Like they've already decided that this is getting done. So I would think that we're going to start to see at least a nice little move pretty quickly, but I just don't know. Ben's going to make a video, then we'll have some information about it, and then we'll know a little bit more at that point, right? But for right now, we are moving to a V2, and we'll see what happens is the best that I can say. I got content coming out on 100x Gems today. They are developing a crypto TV show, which maybe I'll be on. I don't know. I have no idea what the whole premise and what the whole idea of it is yet. So I mean, we'll see. But real quickly, let's start to get down here. Grumpy Cat is at 5206. No reversal. No, just a couple every once in a while. Somebody buys some. As soon as they bought it up, though, what happened? Got dunked on. Somebody sold. Absolutely crazy. But if you look at, and really, like, I got into like tracking everybody who's buying and selling on this just because I'm fascinated by it. And I don't want to call people out for it, but like, people just lose money like crazy because they can't hold. And I don't know. I can't testify that Grumpy Cat's ever going to do anything, by the way. I put in like $1,500, what I thought was a good position over here at like 92. And then it ran up here. And then I was asked about holding, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'll hold for a while. And from that point on, just absolutely dunked on, because I don't know, they went to they went to an exchange, and instead of the price pumping, it just absolutely dunked. So there's obviously some issues there. I said that I wasn't going to make any more content for them because I didn't feel supported, by the way, by the Grumpy Cat people. And then one of their senior people just unfriended me and was like, oh, well, then forget you. So, not very welcoming group of people. So I'm hoping that I'm going to sit on this, and that at some point that it will pump and I'll be able to get out at least equal or even, but it's only $1,500. Like, I'm not going to win over $1,500. Wagmi is at 1241, continuing to soar up to new highs and stuff like that. Now, the one question here is, it got rejected, didn't get to 30 million, but it did get rejected right here. And it's only come down a little bit here. So the question now becomes, will it make a reversal? At this point, you got to kind of look down the chart here and look at what's happening here. You don't see big buys and you don't see big sells. That's the important part, right? When you're looking at these, you're just seeing reasonable buying and selling, which means that something's going on, and people that know. So you're seeing this kind of movement right here. And I mean, you're up 277% over the last 2 months. So what a great play Wagmi Games has been. My $1,000, I think I did go back and I put in $1,400. My $1,400, as a matter of fact, I will show you guys right now, because Wagmi is worth letting people know about. So my $1,400 that I put in, and I want to say, guys, I put this in probably a year ago, a little over a year ago. I haven't sold, so it's now worth $5,700. So I'm up 4x basically on just a simple $1,400. So I'm up over 4x. I do anticipate some continued movement as we get closer to the launch, which I do think is in the second half of this year. It's not. Look, I have the feeling that this thing is going to do about a 4x from where it is right now, at least. That's the sense that I get at this point, that something really, really big is about to happen. I don't know if it gets into the top 100. To get to the top 100, it takes 300 million. I don't know if it has that kind of juice, because that's about a 10x from where it is right now. So I don't know about that one. Invirtiendo. I do these things when people give me tips. Otherwise, it's what I want to talk about. So that's why we pulled up Advantis AI, because that guy gave a super chat. So if you want me to pull up random stuff, and don't spam my chat, please. Look, if you want me to do that, then you do it with super chats. Cult 3071 had a nice little reversal here, but again, I mean, until Cult ends up here in the 5, 6, 7, and look, I almost famously said that Cult was never going to hit that 1,500 number a long time ago, and guess what? I've been right all this time, and I didn't want to be right, by the way. Like, I didn't want to be right. Everybody that was in, and by the way, I know Holly. I kind of know some of these people now, and I didn't want to be right. What I wanted was, I wanted them to succeed. And by the way, B Roots told me it was going to 1,000x. That it was going to 1,000x, and since then it's down 5x. So this is one of those things where I hate being right when I'm right. Like, I don't like that, because what I'm looking at when I'm looking at stuff, guys, I'm thinking that there are caps, there are levels that it's tough to go over, right? 100 million. Here's the 100 million for Cult, and then here's like what was this? 300 million, like a 300 million market cap, just out of nowhere, and then 100 million retest, and then that's it, right? Like now it's it's down. 100x Gems going to have a TV show coming up very soon. The 100x show is going to be awesome. Hopefully, and it's been up, way up. Had a little bit of people dunking on it for the last little bit because guess what? They're here for the pump. They're here for the dump, but they're not here for everything that goes with it. So that's what happens. Now it looks like it might be starting a reversal. This area right here, which was moving across the board for a little bit, that could be a support line. I would think more likely it's coming down to around 3,000 for another test before it starts to reverse. PSYOP not doing anything. Up a little bit, but not really enough. Like if you look at the chart, you know what I mean? Like in the last couple days, you've had like a little move from way down here up. So you've really had kind of a 2x, but you need kind of a 10x at this point for PSYOP to do anything. And people keep asking Ben, well, hey, what's up to the 20 million that you're holding on to? And he's like, I'm holding it for something. And like, I don't know. I don't think that the guy, despite what everybody says, I don't think that the guy is trying to scam. I think he's trying to. To make a win for people. So I'm just going to sit quietly and hold and see what happens. MMAI still down 29.70. Pepe 2. Pepe went to 1,000. By the way, while we were talking, it went to 1,000. So it's having a quote unquote breakout. I'm just kidding. It's not breaking out. I just fucking with you. Right. But it's, here we go. So it's right here. And this little wick is being eaten up. Right now, here's the thing. Maybe it could break out. You never know. What's going to happen though? It's going to get rejected right around here at 1,100, and it's going to come back down, and it's going to get back into this channel, and we're going to see this lower low because they're going to take a fight. They're going to make that move. That move is not going to be able to sustain because there's no reason. If you get a listing on a top exchange, maybe, but you only got $5 million in volume. Like you're not lighting the world on fire at this point. So it's not sustainable. Again, Pepe had to deal with this too. You get listed on a bunch of exchanges, which, by the way, Pepe too got listed on a bunch of exchanges. And then, of course, it just consolidated down because now people are not trading on this chart. They're trading on all of the charts, and it takes a little bit more for it to go. So, but they don't understand that, right? Or I don't understand it, quote, quote. So we'll see. Volt 3326. Again, I don't know what to say. Hopefully something big happens pretty soon. BRL 4421. They've disabled some of the stuff right now to just kind of conserve the USDC for the payouts and stuff like that until they've got some new stuff. As a matter of fact, if you're interested in BRL, you can go into their chat. They do have I just listened to it. It was an hour long from Steve at Rocket Crypto talking about it. So if you're interested, you can go check that out. SHIB 7511, Pepe 1490, RFD 8012, Loyal 1503, Bone down to 132. Bone is not back in the buy zone, but as you can see, it double topped up here. Now, double topped in the best way, by the way. And by the way, I told you guys where it was going to go, right? This retest looks like the next retest area is going to be $1.60. So there is still some life left in this. You could get a 20% run, a nice little 20% run off of it. But if you got in here when I told you to get in here way back down, then there you are, feeling it pretty good. Ben continues the little sell-off because the baby's got to eat, right? So that's just what's going to happen. Lillian Finance, 43.94, about 10,000 in trading volume. A new exchange coming this week. The last exchange that they got led to this little rally right here, but now it's coming back down. Maybe the next one's going to be another one. Look, and here's the thing about, and look, I'm going to say this about Lillian Finance. They put me in a difficult situation with, and I really haven't talked about this, right? They put me in a difficult situation with the listing on Coinbase, right? Because these are some friends of mine and I support these guys, but they put me in a difficult situation, right? because I give my information to you guys, right? And then you have to go out and make a decision to do your own research and figure out what you're going to do about the information that gets provided. Well, when they provide me with information that ends up not being accurate, then that makes it difficult for me to do an honest assessment with you, because the information that I'm getting is not complete. Now, that being said, I drink what I got from them. When I got from them was that this was real, that it was happening, that there was a problem with the contract. The reason that Lillian couldn't list on Coinbase was because of a contract issue. And the contract issue was in their contract, but it concerned Coinbase not being able to do something with the smart contract, so that couldn't happen, right? And at no point was when Barney asked if he could share if he could share with his team, with his people, is what he said. If he could share it with his people, the guy said, yeah, you can let them know. What he meant, or what this guy would have meant, was just the people on the team, not every investor, as an announcement. So that created a perfect little storm. And I will tell you this, that there were even discussions with Ryan, the guy, the guy from Coinbase, that was posting that this was false. So went through the whole process, right? So Alice, I've read the comments, and if you didn't read my comments or you didn't listen to me, then I can't help you. If you want me to talk about your project, then you do it by super chat. I'm talking about the projects that I talk about. If you want me to add another project, then that's a super chat. And if you scroll back over here, then you'll see when somebody wanted me to talk about Pepe 2.0 and XRP, that's what I did. When somebody gave me a $5 donation to talk about Advantis AI, I talked about Advantis AI. If your token that was $20 and is now $2,000 is popping off that way, then you can afford to do a super chat to get me to talk about it. That's kind of how it works. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys. But anyway, so that happened. All of this happened, and now the way I look at Lillian is they gotta overcome those issues. But there's really just a bunch of crybabies on Twitter, and none of them are. Are they people that you respect? Really? You know what I mean? They're just a bunch of crybabies who don't like Lillian because of Saitama and stuff like that, right? So I don't really give any validity to that. What I do give validity to, though, is that Lillian is not listed on any major exchanges, and they know. And I gave them kind of a blueprint of what they needed to do, or how they needed to go about it. And I think that they listened, because they've already been listed on IndoEX, which is a big exchange in Indonesia. Lily and Lillian are the same thing. It's just different ways of saying it. It's Lillian token now. The first one was Lily Finance. It's all the same thing. But now they have opportunities to get on different exchanges, which they did not have before. And if that is the case, then this is a buy. At this level, you've got a market cap of 4 million. Here's the thing. Nobody's buying tokens with a market cap over 5 million. So this is a potential big time move, or a potential big time play. Now, with 6 and 8% buy and sell tax, it's not going to do anything. It just doesn't work that way. If they make some changes, if they make it, if the market changes, if the market does some different stuff, then maybe that changes. But at some point, if they continue to add new exchanges, if they continue to do what a token should do in order to broaden its horizons, and then if they start to produce the stuff that they've been talking about producing, then guess what? Lillian's going to have a massive run. And I'm holding a bag, so I'm hoping for it. But just like everything else, I don't know. So anyway, time for me to get to work. So be very careful today, because again, we don't have any, there's no real magic out there until we get the results of the CPI. So we're not going to know until then exactly what the market's going to do. In the meantime, we could see a drop all the way down to 28,005, which is why I've got it highlighted on this right here. This yellow line of 28,005 looks like one of those areas where Bitcoin could drop at a moment's notice. Matter of fact, as we're sitting here talking, $1 billion just came out of the market in the time it took me to complete that sentence. So it's not financial advice. My name is Believes. I'm always right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will talk to you again for bedtime tonight.
Whoa, another shot of the bullet. Loaded, got complex, cocking and pulling. That bottleneck look like the Loch Ness. What are we doing? I'm about to fall out, boy, and the proof's in the pudding. So, can we forget about the things I said when I was strong?